My name is Victor Cade. I was 27 when I inherited $35 million and became worthless to my own wife overnight. The call came while I was driving. Mr. Cade, the estate is cleared. 35 million, effective immediately. I gripped the wheel tighter. 35 million. I laughed under my breath. Not loud, just unreal. First person I called? My wife. Nina, listen. Something just happened. I'm busy, she said quickly. No excitement, no curiosity, just cold. It's important, I insisted. Then tell me later. The line went dead. I frowned. Something about that didn't feel right. But I ignored it. Focused back on the road. Green light, foot on the gas. Then, everything went black. When I woke up, my body felt like it didn't belong to me. Machines, beeping, white lights, hospital. A nurse noticed. You're lucky, she said softly. Lucky. Didn't feel like it. Your wife hasn't arrived yet.
That felt wrong, really wrong. One day passed, then two. Nothing. No Nina. No messages. No calls. On the third day. The door opened. She walked in, perfectly composed. Her father right behind her. Before I could even speak, he threw papers onto my chest. Sign them, he said. Divorce papers. You're a burden now, he added. I looked at her, waiting, hoping. She didn't say anything, didn't even look at me. And that's when I knew. This wasn't about the accident. This was something else. I didn't touch the papers, didn't even look at them again. I just watched her. Nina, I said quietly. She didn't meet my eyes. Look at me. A pause. Then slowly. She did. No emotion. Nothing. Say it again, I said. What? She asked. That I'm a burden. Her father scoffed. You heard her already. I didn't ask you, I said calmly. That shut him up for a second. Nina exhaled, then said it again. You're a burden now. Clean, flat, like she practiced it. I nodded once. Because of the accident? I asked. She hesitated. Just a fraction. But I saw it. Her father stepped in. He can't provide anymore, he said. That's enough reason. I almost smiled. Provide. That word again. You think I can't? I asked. He looked at me like I was stupid. You're in a hospital bed, he said. Look at yourself. Fair. From the outside. He wasn't wrong, but something didn't add up. Nina shifted slightly, avoiding my eyes again. That hesitation earlier, it meant something. Who told you to do this? I asked. She froze. Her father stepped forward again. That's none of your concern. Now I knew. This wasn't her idea. I leaned back slowly, ignoring the pain. Give me a few days, I said. For what? He snapped. I looked straight at Nina. To understand why you're really here. They didn't expect that answer. No anger, no begging, just time. Her father frowned. We're not negotiating, he said. I'm not asking, I replied. Nina finally spoke. Why are you making this harder? She said quietly. There it was. Not hate. Pressure. I studied her face, the way she kept glancing at him, the way she didn't sit down, didn't come closer, like she was being watched, even standing next to me. Did you know before the accident? I asked. Silence. Too long. Her father snapped. Enough questions. Sign the papers. I ignored him. Nina. She swallowed, then shook her head. No. But it wasn't convincing, not even close. You're lying, I said calmly. Her eyes flickered. Her father stepped closer to the bed. You don't get to accuse her of anything, he said. I'm not accusing, I replied. I'm noticing. That made him pause. Just for a second, and that was enough. Because people who are confident don't hesitate. What are you hiding? I asked. Nina looked at him, not me. That was the answer. I leaned back slightly. Body still weak, mind fully awake now. "All right," I said quietly. They both looked at me, confused. I picked up the papers, didn't sign them, just held them. "Come back in a few days," I added. Her father frowned. "For what?" I looked straight at him. "Because when you do," I said calmly, "you won't be talking to the same person." They left without another word, but not before her father leaned in close. "Don't try anything stupid," he said quietly. I didn't respond, just watched them walk out, door closing behind them. Silence again, but this time, it felt different, clear, focused. I picked up my phone, hands still weak but steady enough, called the one person I hadn't called yet, my lawyer. He answered on the second ring. "Victor, I need everything," I said. No explanation, no small talk, just that. A pause. Then his tone changed. "What happened?" "I'll explain later," I said. "Right now, I need access." He didn't question it. "Give me 10 minutes. That's why I trusted him." 10 minutes later, everything changed. Access restored, accounts visible, assets confirmed. 35 million. Not pending, not delayed. Mine. I stared at the screen, then I smiled slightly. So that's what this was about. They knew, or at least, they knew something. And they moved before I could. Divorce, control. Cut me off before I stood up. Smart, but not smart enough. I closed the screen, exhaled slowly, because now I wasn't guessing anymore. I was certain. And in a few days, when he came back to finish humiliating me, I was going to let him, right before I ended everything he thought he controlled. I didn't rush anything, didn't call Nina, didn't respond to a single message. I just watched, waited, and listened, because when people think you're weak, they get careless. On the second day, my lawyer called back. I dug deeper, he said. "Into what?" I asked. "Your wife's family." That got my attention. And a pause. "They've been struggling," he said. "Quietly, heavy losses, bad investments." I smiled faintly. There it was, the real reason. "They needed money," I said. "Not just money," he replied. "Control." That made more sense. "If you're out," he continued, "they don't have to share anything with you. Divorce before I recover, before I speak, before I access anything. Clean, calculated." "And her father?" I asked. Another pause. "He's deeper than the rest," my lawyer said. "Debts you don't see on paper." Now it was clear. This wasn't personal. This was survival. Theirs, at my expense. I ended the call, stared at the ceiling. Machine still humming beside me, body still broken, but everything else, sharp, focused, ready. Because now I knew exactly why they came to that hospital room. And more importantly, I knew exactly what would break them. And I was going to let him walk back in, thinking he still had control. He came back on the 5th day, just like I knew he would. Alone this time. No Nina, no witnesses. Door opened, slow, confident, like he was walking in to finish something. "Well," he said, stepping inside, "have you come to your senses?" I didn't answer right away, just looked at him, studied him. Because this time, I wasn't seeing a father, I was seeing a man running out of time. "I thought you'd bring your daughter," I said calmly. "She's done wasting time here," he replied. Of course she was. In his mind, this was already over. He stepped closer, picked up the papers from the side table, still unsigned. His jaw tightened slightly. "Stubborn," he muttered. Then he looked at me again. "You don't have many options left," he said. "Sign, and we keep things clean." Clean. I almost laughed. "You mean quiet," I said. He didn't respond, didn't deny it either, because men like him don't care about right or wrong, just exposure. He took another step closer. Close enough now, and that's when it happened. His eyes shifted, Not to my face, lower, to the file resting on my lap. He froze, completely, like his body forgot how to move. Then slowly, he stepped back, face pale, eyes wide. "Oh my God," he whispered, his voice cracked. "It's his." He kept staring at the file like it was going to disappear. It didn't. "Where did you get that?" he asked. Not angry, not loud, just shaken. I picked it up slowly, turned it toward him. Clean documents, legal headers, numbers that don't lie. "From someone who doesn't like unpaid debts," I said. His jaw tightened. "That's not possible." "It is," I replied calmly. "And it's already verified." Silence. Heavy. He looked at me again. Different this time. Not superior. Not in control. Scared. "You've been moving money through my wife's accounts," I continued. "Routing it through shell structures you thought no one would track." He didn't deny it. Didn't even try. Because he knew. I had him. "And the debt?" I added. "You didn't just lose money. You borrowed it." His breathing changed. Slower. Measured. Like he was trying not to panic. "You don't understand what you're stepping into," he said quietly. I smiled slightly. "I built the system you're hiding in," I replied. That landed. Hard. Because now he knew. This wasn't luck. This was precision. "And that file?" I added, tapping it lightly. "It doesn't just expose you." I leaned forward slightly. "It connects everything back to you." His face went completely still. Because now, he wasn't thinking about control anymore. He was thinking about survival. He didn't speak for a long time, just stood there, staring at me like he was seeing me for the first time, not as a patient, not as a burden, but as a problem he couldn't control. "What do you want?" he finally asked. Straight. No pride left. I set the file down calmly. "Simple," I said. "You walk out of here, and the divorce disappears." His jaw tightened. "And if I don't?" I looked at him. Steady. "You already know the answer." Silence. He exhaled slowly, then nodded. Small. Defeated. Because men like him don't gamble when they're already losing. He turned to leave, stopped at the door, didn't look back. "This isn't over," he said quietly. I almost smiled. It already is. He walked out, door closing behind him. And just like that, the man who called me a burden left that room carrying everything he tried to hide. Nina came back 2 days later, different, quiet, careful. "I didn't know," she said. I believed her, but it didn't matter anymore. Some damage doesn't reverse. I signed the papers, not because I lost, but because I was done. And as for her father, he didn't lose everything that day. He lost something worse: control.